And we are live with another exciting episode of CAV HQ. I am your host, CAVBoss, with my faithful sidekick, James Mad Dog Meredith. Hello, James.
And how you doing, John?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
I doing fantastic. I'm excited to go through the stuff we talked about earlier. I think it's going to be interesting to see what you create. I love watching new things get built.
And evening to you, Kruger. Welcome. Oh,
Grrr.
hopefully everybody can hear us okay. Hope.
Yeah, if you guys detect anything wrong with the stream, if we go quiet or it stutters or anything, just hit us up in chat. Hopefully, we'll still be able to see that and we can take action. Call in the technicians
We've done much
or
better the
repair
last
crew.
couple of weeks.
Yeah. Since John tweaked the settings.
Yep. Had drops or anything, so we'll
Yeah.
cross our fingers and hope we get through another night. Even the timer was on time. I don't know if you noticed, just as it went to zero, we went live.
hmm
How scary is
It's
that?
all better. John, knock on
Oh,
some wood, whatever you do.
there we go. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I'm
go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I was just going to ask you real quickly about the terrain stream. I missed it yesterday. I was doing chores.
So I worked on some of my desert terrain a little bit more. I showed
hmm
the skeleton dragon thingy, how it's
mm
finished up. And then I'm trying to match up some other hills and stuff. So I did some more with the rocks and the gravel and stuff like that. Showed everybody with that. But I had to wait everything to dry, so I'll continue with that next week. But I also have been getting some infantry ready to base, so that I can kind of show people how I put them together and how you build your squads and stuff like that. So I got them all primered and put on my little popsicle sticks that I paint on and started painting last night and got a few done.
hmm
So I'm going to finish those up this week. And then next Tuesday, I'll work on basing them so people can kind of see how I put them together.
Nice. That's a frequent question. I mean, how to manage infantry? How many infantry models go on a stand? So it's going to be good to have that out there where you once it goes to YouTube, you could point people back to that and say, here's an example of how I go about doing it.
Right. Yeah. How I put them together and make this stand this and that stand that. So
hmm
hopefully that will help answer some questions because that seems to be the common one I'm getting. So,
Right.
and then,
And
God, why do we keep doing that?
because
We're like minded.
both of us have great ideas.
We both found out we both like peanut butter shakes,
Oh my gosh, with caramel.
caramel.
I
Yeah,
had no idea.
yeah, we were good to go. If you didn't catch any of the Facebook post or whatnot, James came up this weekend and hung out. We kind of had a bro cav weekend watching TV and painting models and stuff. So you can check some of that out on Facebook. We painted up a couple of Kodiaks that I 3D printed out for us. And of course, James showed me up in painting again.
I don't
Uh,
know about that. I think yours came out great.
oh, it's all right. It's just not, it doesn't, you guys have such smoother transitions and everything. So
It's called
I'm always a
airbrush.
work in progress. But we watched some World War II YouTube
Mhm.
videos. We just did
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff. So um, we watched a animated series called
oh yeah,
Obsolete that's on YouTube.
fantastic.
Yeah, they're little
Yes.
12 or 15-minute episodes. I think there's 6 of them total.
hmm
And there's a new season going to be coming out. Very enjoyable if you like mechs and combat suits fighting one
hmm
another. It's very, very well done.
It's very down to earth. I mean, it's try not to spoil anything. It's got elements of alien technology in it, but it really feels like the sort of equipment, a modern or slightly more than modern military would field, excuse me. It's got the flow of the battles feels like the kind of thing you would see in just a regular action movie with troops and tanks and things like that. Highly recommended. John introduced me to it. I'd never heard of it before, and while I was waiting on him, I watched half of it while I was waiting on him over at the shop, and then we finished it up later at night. It is fantastic. It's a YouTube original, so you catch it on YouTube. It's only got 6 episodes. You could probably knock out the whole thing in 2 hours. And John, did they announce a second season? I can't
Yes, yeah,
remember.
there is going to be a second season coming up. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's very gritty. It has a very
Mhm,
realistic feel on it. It is anime, but I think it's drawn particularly well. It is
mhm.
subtitled, but so if you've got that going on. But the best thing is there's not some girl with big eyes singing in the background while the fighting's going on. So that's a big plus. So
I mean, those animes can be fun
I
too.
know,
Don't get me
I
wrong. We're
know.
not trying to be judgmental here, but this it really does feel like, like a like a war
Yeah,
movie. Afterwards, John and I watched Midway, and then we watched Fury. And I mean, the anime obviously was an anime. It's not the same kind of film, but it fit in that gritty style of
yeah,
cinema. It's really good. You need to watch it.
yeah. No, it was enjoyable. Yeah, because they don't do a whole lot of modern, what I consider kind of modern mecha kind of stuff. That's more.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
always wants to be these alien empire fighting stuff like that, as opposed to
Yep.
you know be more CAV or more of the mech games that most of us play with that kind of a feel to it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely I like futuristic combat games, but they gotta have their feet on the dirt. You know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing wrong with big space opera games. Big space opera games are great. Sometimes you want people to have to reload a magazine and worry about cover and things like that instead of just summoning the giant laser sword of doom that cuts through the Grand Canyon and splits the planet in
Yeah.
two.
Yes, sir. Brad Pitt. The Brad Pitt movie was the one that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got a lot of really good actors in it. It's got I can't think of Frank's last name. He's the fellow that played in The Walking
Right.
Dead, and also he played the
Punisher.
Punisher on Netflix. And then it's got is that the guy's name? Shia
Shia
LaBeouf? Is that
LaBeouf or
his name?
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah. However
he's
you
a
say his
little
name.
weird, but he's a good actor.
He played fantastic in that movie. And the young kid there, the account or the clerk that shows up and has to serve in the tank. I don't know the actor's name, but he does a great job
Yeah,
too.
and the driver's been in a lot of stuff. He's the
Oh yeah,
sidekick in Ant-Man.
yeah, absolutely. The guy that's in charge of the
Yeah, Michael
security
Michael
agency.
Pena.
There we go.
Yeah, no, it was a good
John
show.
Barenthal. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
Punisher
Frank
guy.
is the name of the Punisher. Oh, old man, no memory, knows what he likes.
And
I
we
guess
did
that's about
Pacific Rim too.
about
We watched Pacific Rim.
yeah, yeah. I don't watch a ton of movies. I eventually see movies, but like the idea of sitting down and watching 3 movies in a row is really weird for me. And so it was kind of fun. I'd forgotten how much fun they can be,
Well,
you
I
know? Just look
luckily,
up when the interesting
yeah,
things happen.
everything was set up, so it made it a lot easier for us to
Yeah.
work on stuff and talk and watch movies. Like I said, it was a bro
John's
weekend.
absolutely. John's setup was fantastic. Had a table. I was able to stand there and paint for hours and hours and hours. Got the TV right there next to us, plenty to drink, snacks. He kept throwing me those little what are those little candies that you
Smarties,
like so much?
Smarties.
Smarties. Yeah. God, I ate so many Smarties. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we put those in our orders, and so I've got bags of them. Like,
I like
yeah,
it.
it's a good deal.
I like it. I
Okay,
see Mayor Dude is
he
here, or
is.
however you say that guy's
Yeah,
name. Yeah, we tried that
I
a
think
couple
we
of weeks
went through
ago and
all
I
that before.
surrendered. Yep.
Welcome to the chat. Here in a minute, we're going to start working on. We're going to kind of walk everybody through the construction program and the force manager program
Mhm.
tonight. Possibly, we'll see if we can make this work. Um, and then we're going to try to design a model in the CP program that may or may not
Mhm.
become official, depending on how bad we do. So we'll see how that goes. Taking in the crowd, so kind of having your mind what you think we're missing or this faction needs that. So we'll probably stay away from Amathril. They seem to be getting all the stuff lately. Stretch
Yeah,
out
they got the
there,
Kodiak and the Akula, that vehicle that Chris is
right?
working on. That's Al Mirathon
Yep,
as well, right?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have that
Well, I mean,
finished
they're
up this weekend, I think.
ooh, so what you're saying is come back up this weekend to paint some
Some
Akulas? Is
Makula,
that
we
what you're
can print
saying?
out some Makulas. Yeah,
I can't. I've other
I know.
commitments this weekend as much
I
as I'd love
know. I
to.
know. All right, so we covered some of that stuff. So what did we see kind of also pop up on Facebook other than all of our stuff? You did your little walk
So
around video.
yeah, so when I was up there at CAV HQ this past weekend, I randomly decided to try and Facebook Live a little tour of the studio. I've never done that before, but I think it worked. If you go to CAV HQ Facebook group, you can find the video there, I think. And I don't know, it's 10 or 12 minutes of me just wandering around and poking my head in corners and boxes and just, I mean, literally, CAV HQ is, it's like being let loose in Santa's workshop. It's pretty cool. Um, but if you get a chance, check it out. It's interesting. There's a lot of really cool stuff in John's shop.
I do want to mention
And then
in
of
my
course,
defense, the two
yeah.
shells that you showed with the dusty calves all over them. Those are the only two shells. They're
Uh,
low and I haven't gotten down to clean them lately. And those are, of course, the
yeah.
two that he had to put on the video.
Well, they have the cool models on
I
them,
know, I
John.
know. So they've been
They have the
dusted. They're
cool
clean
models on
now.
them. Ready for the next
Yeah.
one.
My wife,
And then
my wife texted me. He just had to do the two dusty shells. I said, I know. I said, I just the luck of the draws.
hey, when I was in the military, that didn't matter if you had to clean everything because you didn't know what they were going to inspect. So,
Yeah, until people have all been in a line, walking lots of grass and picking up cigarette butts
hmm
for an hour. Yeah,
yep,
there's all kinds of stuff you get crazy to have to clean.
mowing the grass in the rain.
Yeah,
Yep,
got to be
all
when
kinds
it's
of
got
dumb
to be
stuff.
done. It's got to be done.
Got to be done.
Okay, so what else did we see on the deal on Facebook
Well,
this week?
I
Not a whole
mean,
lot.
just finish off the trip. There was the two Kodiaks. You finished yours up pretty close. I think just the
I
base last time I
I did.
heard
I got the base coat on the base the other night, but I haven't finished it up.
looked really good to me. You got decals on it and the whole 9 yards. I thought your camouflage looked great. Me, I didn't get quite finished. I forgot to bring one of the washes that are important to the paint scheme that I'm doing, so I kind of got stuck there at the end. But I got really close to finishing it up. I'll probably finish that thing up early next week and get it based and in the cabinet with the rest of my Elmira Thil Force. Then Dave Curry, friend of the show, posted up in the Facebook group a picture of his mantis. It's really hard to describe. It's completely freaking cool looking, but it's also the paint scheme is just it's
It's
different.
got kind of a
It's
Tron
like
vibe to it.
a little bit, yeah, or maybe like something out of the 60s or 70s where the colors are just bold and bright and solid, and it kind of reminds me of like the color scheme from the Mod Squad. Of course, nobody's going to know what that is except maybe you. Anyway, it's just a really good looking mantis in kind of a grayish green with some bold yellow and orange on it. Looks really sharp. Love it. He says he's got a couple of two or three more he's going to paint up in the same scheme. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but Mobile Armor Radio podcast is it's a mecha oriented podcast. They have episode 29 posted up this past week. I want to say that's where you heard about that anime from, isn't it, John?
Well, yeah, off their Facebook page that they
Okay.
I'd already knew about the original, but as far as the second season coming up, that's where.
Oh, okay. Okay. I knew you had said something about that. Anyway, so those guys will occasionally talk about CAV, but they're big into just basically everything giant robot. So if you need something to get your fix on from Gundams and Mecha and occasionally CAV and be that other game, be something or other, I can't remember what it's called. Check them out. It's a good podcast. I've listened to it in the past. I just haven't had a chance to listen to this one yet.
Yeah, I actually did
Sparks.
an interview with them. It was early on. It's probably maybe their
Yeah.
second or third episode. That if you go back and look in their deal, that we talked for an hour.
I remember that. That's the first episode of theirs that I listened to. I didn't know they existed till I heard you were going to be on it. It's a solid show. I enjoy it. Sparks Murphy, that the guy from Far Away, over on Discord, he decided to post up a conversion piece that he made a model of. So I guess he and we've got a new member over there called the Hobby Habit. Um, I don't know what pronoun to use there, but the Hobby Habit and Sparks were talking about the Chieftain and the Hornet, and Sparks, who's apparently pretty good 3D modeler, decided to knock out a turret conversion to turn a Chieftain chassis into a Hornet, and so he posted up pictures of it um, that he printed, and I believe, don't quote me, but I believe if you go over in the Discord, you might find a link to where you can go get the STL file and be able to print those up for yourself if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, he said
It looked really good
he
to
was going
me.
to put it up on Thingiverse, and Sparks is our sculptor Tom Buttery. So
Okay.
he done several of our pieces that we all grown to
Mhm.
love. So
You're funny.
he was I'm supposed to be giving him some stuff to do some new work, and I forgot. Rather terse email, but still haven't done. Reminded me.
And all right, I'll poke you in the ribs tonight
Yeah,
and tomorrow, John, to
yeah,
make sure we want Tom making models for
yeah.
us.
I'm sorry, Tom. There's just so much stuff going on, and just sometimes to the
Really good chance Tom's asleep. I'm just so
he
disgusting.
actually shows up every once in a while. He comes here, yeah,
Yeah.
because I think they're about generally. I think when we're doing this, it's about
Mhm.
3 or 4 o'clock in the morning here. So
Yeah, it's a long way away
and
in a
down yonder.
galaxy way down under. Yeah. So then I back to the Discord. We got a new member who showed up. I don't know, a week or so ago. The Hobby Habit, and he's been very entertaining, very interesting, asking all kinds of very intelligent questions, posting up his. He's got some maybe Excel spreadsheet based. I don't know, but he's got his own home brewed army builder that he's thrown together.
I
It
saw
looks
that.
like from the pictures
Yeah,
that
I
he's
saw that.
posted, and I guess he made an order and it finally came in this week. And he posted up some pictures of his terrain and some just plain gray models. He hadn't had a chance to work on them apparently yet, but he's been super enthusiastic. Very good to see. That kind of interest and activity on the Discord channel. It's really good.
Good deal.
Okay, that's what I got
That's
from the internet.
okay. So let's see if we can make this work. Now, unfortunately, since I do not have 2 monitors, once I get the
Hmm.
program up and running, James is going to have to be the kind of the in between. So
Yeah,
we'll
you'll have to
we'll
listen to me
work
ask
on that.
questions if people have them.
Yeah. So let me see if I can get this possible.
And so the way John kind of advertised this to me is he's gonna build an official model. If we can come up with something that's like meaningful and interesting, this will become a real model in CAV that we'll be able to print or buy at some point in time. And so he's encouraging us to you know fill a hole. If there's something in your faction's motor pool that's missing or something you would like to see added, now's the time to speak up. Vehicle, flyer, CAV, anything I think is out there as a possibility. Except maybe spaceships. I'm not sure he's ready for
Not
that.
ready for spaceships. Okay. So we should be. Can you see the construction program?
I can. I see it above my head.
Okay.
Do you need to turn me off so that people can see the lower left-hand part of the screen?
Well, let's see if that's just kind of when we start putting stuff in there. But how about I shrink you down? Shrink you.
Well,
Okay.
John, you shrank.
Yeah.
You shrank the
You have
mad
been
dog.
shrank. Officially shrank.
Shrinkage. It's cold up here.
Okay. So I guess we need to start and think. So who do we need to do? I know you'd mentioned about doing another doing a big boy for the Emperor to go along with the Emperor for the rock. We could look at doing another big boy, or what?
So just real quickly, let me share my reasoning there.
Okay.
First of all, I only had a few minutes after you announced this to think about it, and so I just made a quick survey of all the factions that had 12 DT models, which they all have at least one, and what they have. And I saw, at least from a data card perspective, there are 3 individual Terran 12 DT models, 2 Adon, 2 Templar, and then everybody else only has one. And so I thought to myself, the Rock and the Terran conflict is kind of, at least from my perspective, the core of the initial CAV experience. I mean, there's a lot of art in there that is Rock and Terran oriented. It's the story that people seem to gravitate to because hey, it happened to Terra, and it's palpable and interesting. And so I thought, well, why do the Terrans have 3 different variations of this big showcase CAV and the Rock only have one? So I thought maybe we might throw something in there for the Rock.
Okay.
But
All right.
that was just my
No,
first thought. We
let's
could do
go for it.
anything.
Do we want to do another 12 pointer? Or do we want to do 11 pointer? Because I don't think they have an 11 pointer. That's an attack model.
No, I will
do
a little
I don't
research.
remember. Yeah, because I can't pull it all up, or I'll really crash us out.
Yeah, seriously. Do. Here we go. This is broadcasting at its finest. Here we go.
Now, for those that have used this or haven't used it or whatever, you can download this from cavhq.com off of our downloads page. It is PC only. I do know that some people have got it to work with Mac using Wine, I think is what some kind of an emulator.
Yes.
Yeah. So I doubt we'll ever do a pure Mac version because none of us are Mac guys. Sorry. Certainly, if somebody down the road that's a Mac guy wants to do it, we would work with them. I hope to at some point have a web-based version that'll be kind of then at that point it won't matter. Again, it's getting around to it, finding somebody that knows more about that part of it or whatever. But once you have it installed, and it should be pretty much close to everything that mine is. You might see a couple of things that mine has that your doesn't because it's my version, the super secret.
John cheats.
Yes, my cheat version.
Is the cheaty version.
Yeah. But all you do is once you've got it all in a folder, extract it out, is you just double click on the CAV cp.exe program. It'll come up with a little window kind of telling you about what it is and all that good stuff. And then once you click yes or okay, then you're here at the instruction program at an untitled version. Now you can go in and open if you wanted to open somebody. So you can like open an official file. And it'll ask you if you want to continue. Yes, we want to. So to give you the whole list of all the models that are currently in there. And you can scroll up and down, or you can start, if you just push a letter, it'll take you to the first E. So like here, let's go ahead and pull the Emperor up right now. So this is what you get when you pull up one. Basically has all of his stats, what his essays are, everything like that. You are able to print these out. It creates a PDF file. This is, if you've seen the little black and white cards, this is what these do. But you have these categories up here. You have weapons, you have the essays that you can pick. Loadout kind of gives you some stats on the current weapons and stuff that he's got. So if you want to see what the essays are on a particular weapon, if you're not sure. Auto essays are essays that are automatically assigned to a model, no matter what. So in this case, he's bulky and hard because he's a 12-point CAV. Official, if you go to this, you can click on the URL, which will send you to the store if you're trying to look for him or whatever. And then the JOR button um, also will send you to the store, I guess, but it also shows a picture on here. Once we have the new JOR book out with art, we'll be replacing these with the art pictures. But right now, these are just the mini version. James, what'd you find out about 11 pointer?
So the only one that we have for them is the subjugator, which I believe is a autocannon guy.
Yeah, I think it's actually, I think that it might be an Imperator.
Imperator's 10.
Okay. No, I mean, but a variant, but I don't know. Okay, so let's come up with another 12-point rock one. So we're going to go over here. We're going to close this one down. We're going to get a new file here. Which say we want to continue anyway. Okay, so go back here and click on this. All right, so we know that we're going to do a rock. We're going to collect his affiliation here. And then we need to come up with a name for it. So what are some suggestions for a name? We need a name that would be, they tend to be
mean.
Well, a lot of ruler type names. We have emperors, dictators, imperators, stuff like that. So we want to see if we can come up with something that might fit within that nomenclature. Trying to think of what some other that are cool sounding. You know, we don't want to call him, you know, King of Cool or something. What is something? Let's see. Any ideas? Bueller?
I think you've used a lot of them. I'm sitting here scrolling through the names.
We've used a bunch of them. So, what are some other rock naming things that we do? And they have really stayed with the kind of the dictators and despots and.
I mean, the Barracuda's in there, the Warden's in there, so there are a few others.
What is that? What is another title of somebody in charge that's not weird?
The Lord, Chief, Potentate. I'm looking at synonyms.
Yeah.
Autocrat, Autarch.
The autocrat doesn't sound too bad.
Okay.
What are some other ones? Are we getting any? Is anybody saying anything in chat?
Monarch. Monarch is being thrown out. There's the only one I see so far.
I believe there is already a monarch.
Yeah, I think you might be right. You might have to branch out a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. So we could go. So they've used Barracuda. So we could go with a prey type fish, I guess. You mean
a predator?
Can we say that?
A predatory fish, you mean?
Yeah.
Fish. A predatory fish. Oh. Any biologist out there? Lurge. Quality Lemming says lurge, whatever that is. Liege? How about liege?
Yeah.
Predatory fish. I mean, we could go redneck, I guess. Striper? Smallmouth bass? I don't know. Maybe we should have. Maybe the name will come after we.
Well, we got to put a name in now.
What it does.
How about
you have to put a name in now?
Well, I think
the software wants a name before to let you put in stats. It wants
a name in there, I think.
I bet you cannot name it, or just give it a temporary name.
You could give it a temporary. All right, so we'll come back to the name. So for now, we'll put in Lord. Put in a Lord. Okay, so we want type is going to be a CAV. And then task, we're going to do attack. Now for manufacturer, we put in, you have all the basic ones that are already in the game that you can choose from and everything like that. So let's see. A lot of the original stuff are all CodaWorks. And then Do we want? Let's go with Indotech. All right. So he's going to be a walker, the regular CAV. Then we can drag the damage track all the way over here. Gives us 12 hard points. So a basic 12-point CAV with the balanced armor and movement starts off with a base armor value of 8, a movement of 6, close assault of 6, damage control of 6, and right off the bat, it's worth 230 points. That's kind of scary that you have a CAV with nothing on it to shoot at anybody, and it's already 230 points.
It's a big
Yeah,
calf.
going to wear you down. You get up and do the Monty Python night thing. Merely a flesh wound. Okay, so we know we're going to do that. So let's think of weapons. So the Emperor has got MRACs on it.
Mhm.
So we don't want to go with that direction. So that pushes us into Max, which are, you've already got the Dictator and the Imperators and stuff out there with a lot of them. Do we want to do particle bolt guns? I don't think the Rock have a lot of particle bolt guns. They can do lasers. We can do missiles. We can do. And they've got all kinds of little choices that we can go. I think we should go, and this is one of the things we wanted to talk about as we went through this is some of we try to decide on this. And I'm not trying to build the next Death Star. Anybody can do that. Anybody can sit down and build a Devastator and, oh, cool, here we go. So, I'm thinking in my head things that down the road when we have to do the write-up for it, what are things that we may have as a weakness, as a plus, stuff about the design, why they built it, why did they come up with this particular version. So, I kind of think in my head that we should probably go particle bolt guns or lasers because they don't have a lot of energy-based stuff. And we've already got MRACs. And then like I said, with the Dictator and the Imperators, you're already got a bunch of medium and heavy max there. So, so that's something to consider. Now, the other thing.
So just scan.
Sorry,
I just scanned through all the rock cards that are available, at least to me, and they have no heavy PPGs. There's only one CAV with medium PPGs, and they have a small smattering of CAVs with light PPGs. So if you wanted to go there, there's a lot of space in that area. There didn't seem to be a lot of LBGs either.
Right.
So
yeah, they don't have a whole lot of lasers, or they like the big guns. So, but they like to get up close and personal. So particle bolt guns works good for them. And so the first thing that comes up is matched weapons. Is every two-legged CAV gets 2 sets of matched weapons. Basically what this is you can put 2 of the same weapons, 1 on each arm or 2 in one location, and they share a lot of the power couplings, whatever that they need. So that's
infrastructure.
Yeah. So that allows you to be able to pack a little bit more in there without using up a lot of your tonnage. So you get it. You have to still pay the points for it, but you don't have to pay the tonnage for it. So you get 2 free sets of matched weapons. So we kind of take that into account too. Now you can always, you can stack up, and that's something too to think about. We could do a duelist version of something for the Rock. They don't really have anything that's got a lot of things on it to take into account salvo. But
okay, so let's run through the names real quick, and maybe that'll help us out. So some people have posted a few things.
Okay.
Lurge, whatever that is from Bloody Lemming. Sovereign, I think we already have a Sovereign.
Yeah.
Hard G, I guess, which is kind of a modern appellation of some kind.
Yeah. No,
Boa, that sounds Korean to me. Manta, uh,
well, we
this
have a
looks
mantis, so maybe, maybe we
this
could do
next word I'm not sure I could pronounce. Bichir? Bashir? What about hammerhead?
mm, doesn't really jump out.
Luge. Lurg. I have no idea. What is
Lurg is not happening. So
okay. Just I
whoever's F5 in that, just stop.
all
So
right.
this is
That
not the
that would be
Adams family.
bloody
Okay.
lemming.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll come back to the name.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
okay.
come
We'll
back to
circle
the
back.
name. Okay. So we're thinking particle bolt guns. Do we want to? Do we want to put 4 on there? Do we want to? Are we going to put some rockets on with him? Are we going to put some missiles? What do you think?
Well, so we got the Emperor. The Emperor is a all ammo CAV,
Yep.
right?
Right.
So it's got MRAX and he's got missiles and rockets, right?
Yep.
So he's the kind of CAV you cannot deploy outside his supply lines.
Right.
So let's build something that can operate behind enemy lines or in enemy territory with limited supply. Something that's energy based. What do you think about that?
Okay. Yeah,
From
we
a
could do that.
from, from a story perspective.
Okay.
How many laser bolt guns could you slap on there and not be dumb? You know, what's the right number
Well,
for those things?
depending on the size, I mean, hell, you could probably
Yeah,
get 8 light ones on a guy if you wanted to. That'd be scary with a +7 salvo.
that'd
Um,
be funny.
yeah, but
Well, it shot your pilot out.
yeah, that's a little spammy. But
So Mardud has said Shahad. I can't pronounce these things. Shahzade. Shahzade. Turkish for cornet. Moray, as in perhaps the beginning of moray eel.
Moray, I like that. I think a Moray is cool.
All right.
Of course, it may be too that they're maybe their aircraft. We'll still play with that. So
Okay.
let's get back on the weapons here. Worst case, if we don't get it named tonight, at least we get it built. We can go from. So I really don't want to. I don't know that I want to load it up with a lot of one thing. So, but and maybe keep it cheap. You know, because the more crap you put on there, the
Okay.
more higher it gets. So we could put a pair of let's see, and give him a little range too, so he's got something coming in. Maybe a pair of particle bolt guns and a pair of lasers.
So I mean, out there in chat, if you have an idea for how you want to see this thing used, say that. I mean, because
Yeah.
that'll contribute. Are we talking about you know, things that operate behind enemy lines? You know, are we talking about a mainline fighting unit? Is this sort of a like a you know the really heavy part? You know, like the equivalent of a tiger. You know, like a king tiger. You
Right.
know, the sort of thing that holy shit when it pops out of the woods, you're like, what the hell is that thing doing here? And where did
Well,
my other Sherman go?
yeah, kind of in my head, I see, you know, with the rock mentality and stuff. This guy wading in. This guy's ready to come all down there and get in your face. So maybe load him up with a couple of pair of medium lasers to give him a little bit of range to as he's marching across until he starts bringing the heavy particle bolt guns into range. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what medium lasers are, but if you mean LBGs, I think I'm in
Yeah,
for that.
LBGs. Yeah, laser bolt guns. Sorry,
There you go.
bad habits die hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
You rolled many a dice in that other game,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sure.
So yeah. So I'm thinking maybe a pair of medium LBGs and a couple of
Huh?
heavy particle bolt guns, PPGs. What do you think?
Okay. I like the sound
All
of
right,
it.
let's try this. So let's go into weapons. So we're gonna do match because he's a 12. Everything's opened up. So we're gonna click the matched weapons. So we're going to go down here, and our first thing we're going to pick is a medium LP laser bolt gun. So we have a base 4.4, and that's going to use up 1.5 points of our hard points. So we'll throw those in there. So those go into the unassigned. And we're going to go down here to the heavy particle bolt guns, which are 3 hard points. They're going to be matched. So we're going to put those on there. Okay. So I'm thinking, and now we can assign them to a location. So I'm thinking that we're going to put the lasers into his body like that, and then put the particle bolt guns in each arm, I think.
Seems traditional.
Yeah. So that gets him, see, now we're already at 746 points, but we still have 7.5 hard points left to use.
It's a lot of nice juicy essays.
Yeah. So now we can look at,
I missed it.
sorry.
When you built him, did you set him up? I know there's an option to go like, I don't remember the words, like more movement, less movement. What is
Well,
the
that's
option there?
that's what I'm getting ready to go to. So we, right now, his emphasis is you can either set him to armor, balanced, or move. So if you want him to start off with more armor, you're giving up movement. Balanced is kind of in the middle for both of them. Movement is your sacrifice and armor for move. So right now we have him set for balanced, and he has an 8-point armor. So obviously this is where you got to think of, and you can always adjust these with essays too, is you have to take into account what our philosophy here is for this guy is, A, you don't want to turn him into a pillbox. So we need him to be able to move if he's going to get down there and get in everybody's face. But once he's down there in the middle of everybody and being shot left and right, he needs good armor. So you have to be careful with when you do guys like this. I think we ought to leave him balanced and maybe look at adding a point of armor through an essay.
All right. So let me ask this question. Is it possible to get him to double time? Can we get him to a 10 move in any way, shape, or form?
You can. You could put him on. You could do your emphasis on move, and then add the
turbocharged or whatever it is. Isn't there?
Yeah. Here in, let's see, on.
Set him to move and see what kind of movement style we get. All
right.
How many movement
points? If we set him to move, we've kicked him up to 8 with an armor value of 7.
Okay.
So then if you come over here into the essays, and we have improved.
Hey, Gimli.
Improved breeder, which is one hard point. And there you go.
Does that get him to a 10?
That gets him to a 10. So you would have double time.
And so my thought is that double time is kind of 2 points of armor.
True.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He's really, if you're trying to hit him, it's like trying to hit a 9. He's not as tough if you actually get a good roll and you hit him. He gets hurt worse, but that double time movement acts kind of like armor.
Well, what's that do? Do we get a consensus? What does everybody think we ought to do? Should we pick up the movement and throw the improved breeder on there? Should we leave him balanced? What does everybody think? I mean, I agree. I think your thinking behind that is well founded, with the fact that he's got good movement, and for a while anyway, he'll be able to pick up a couple of extra to hit modifiers.
And Tiger Wraith is suggesting that if we go this route, we should probably look for Assault 2 if we can find a way to squeeze it in.
Yep.
Seems pretty traditional. So here's the other thought process I have. I think obviously we can't see his stats, but I think even at move 10, it's going to take several damage tracks worth of damage before you drop him down to 9 because he's so big. And so he's going to be able to take a couple of punches on the way in and maintain movement 10 so he can keep his double time.
Yeah, he'll probably lose it he can at least take 1 point. Maybe he can take the second one. It just depends on where it breaks. because
Yeah. I'd be
you get some differences based on what the base number is, depending on how it
right.
rounds. So sometimes you'll catch an extra DT, and sometimes you won't.
And see, so in my opinion, if it only takes 1 or 2 points of damage to make him lose double time, we should go the other route. Because it's just gonna get popped off by a lucky shot or two, and then you're gonna be this low armor cav waddling your way across the board.
Well,
Whereas
but by the
if it's
same,
wider, if it's 3 or 4 damage tracks, I think it might be
yeah,
worth it.
I don't think he'll go to 3 or 4, but by the same token, with the improved breeder, even if he goes to a 9, he's still coming across the board pretty fast. Yes, he's lost a point of armor. Of course, we could always throw another point of armor back on him too. We could do improved armor.
So in correct me if I'm wrong, double time is -2 to hit, right?
Yes.
So when he drops from 10 to 9, he becomes 2 points easier to hit. It's kind of like 2 points of armor.
Yeah.
Plus, he probably has already lost an actual point of armor. And so now he's really effectively armor 6. He's going to get chopped up at that point.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. If it's wide, if it's 3 or 4, which again, I don't know.
It's
I don't
not.
know how
Yeah,
that
it's
works.
not going to. It's going to be one or two. So he'll
Okay.
go. He'll either keep it to damage track 2 or damage track 3.
I'd be curious to see.
Well, I can actually look because I can go ahead. You won't be able to see this part, but if I go ahead and print him,
Cheating. John's cheating.
he'll take it. He'll lose it at damage track 2. He goes.
Okay.
He goes 10 10 999 888 77766.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, maybe we should go the other direction. Maybe we should go balanced and still give him improved breeder so he's a little bit faster.
That makes him an 8-8.
Seems interesting. Anybody out there in chat have an opinion? I mean, we're supposed to all be doing this together. This is our model.
Or if you go to armor with improved breeder, he becomes a 9-6.
I mean, that's a respectable stat line. 9 is a lot of armor.
Yeah.
Especially if you end up with any reinforcing at all. Gimli has no opinions ever. That seems there's got to be. I think there's humor in there that I'm not getting.
I kind of think we stay with balance with the improved breed.
Okay.
I think that gives him a good higher end armor and a move of 8. So, if he starts off the first turn with a double move, he's already 16 inches across the board. So, that's really popping him down there. And I agree, we ought to have a couple of points of assault thrown in there. They're cheapies for half each. So that way, that allows him to move, run, and gun.
Right.
With no modifiers, negative modifiers.
Well, I mean, up to 2, right? I mean, we gave him 4 weapons. So the other thing to think about, and I think we're headed in the right direction here, is, I mean, we want a model to sort of play opposite the Emperor, and the Emperor is slow and hard to hurt.
Yep.
And so this guy needs to be a little bit more mobile, and I think we're headed that direction. So
I think
he's going to be a good
kind of a one to throw in there because they hadn't showed up with a lot of stuff. Is throw Chameleon on him. Now everything over medium range, over 18 inches, he's going to get a +1.
So medium, long, and extreme, or is it just long?
It goes by
extreme?
range now. Well, originally we did it by range band, but I think now it's anything over 16 inches or anything over 18. So as long as he's 16 or 18 inches away from anything, he's always going to get a +1 harder to hit. So it's kind of like a little baby um, double time
Yeah, yeah.
for a half ton. So, and I
I
don't
mean,
think,
if you
and we haven't had a bunch of those on there. So let's throw it on there. Let's see what he does. All right, because we still
that
have
just makes me
five
want to
tons.
hold on a second. I'm trying to look up the cheat sheet real quick to make sure I know how that's worded.
It's all you have to on the cheat sheet will have it because it got updated in errata, but cheat sheet should have if you've got the latest
I'm
version.
pull I am pulling it up off of your
Okay,
website.
good to go. It's either 16 or 18 inches. We originally did it by range band, but that was kind of unfair for different ones because it moved you. Chameleon was a lot of would have a lot of different areas of effect. And I'm thinking that we don't waste a targeting computer because we counted on this guy
Yeah,
moving all the time. But
yeah, he's going to be moving all the
but
time.
let's put a Wizzo. I think he needs a Wizzo, don't you?
I think all vehicles need a Wizzo. I'm sorry, did I say that out
Yeah,
loud?
you did.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Anything over with hold on a second. Chameleon is -1 to any enemy model's direct fire ranged assault combat rolls with an attack range of 18 inches or more. So it doesn't matter what the bands are. It's just based on the
Right
distance.
on the distance. So,
Yeah,
and here's another monkey wrench to throw into the deal: superior mobility.
I love that. Real quick, Tiger Wraith is double checking. He's asking heavy PPGs are range 6, right? All PPGs are range 6.
Yes,
Tiger Wraith.
yes. Everything is that. So any attacks over 18 inches gets the committee. Yeah, superior mobility. He's not paying anything for light woods or elevation or
Yep.
rough.
He's just coming straight downhill
Yeah.
through
So, and
everything.
that's only another ton.
Okay.
So we still have 3 tons to go. And
What did we give him improved breeder?
we did.
I can make it out.
Yeah, he's got improved breeder.
Superior mobility, assault 2.
Yeah.
Do you have to add that twice to
Yes.
have it
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
assault
You
2?
have to buy it, and then it'll add it on.
Okay.
Do we want to put reinforced on there? We can put reinforced 2 on there for a ton for 1 hard point.
I mean, reinforced is almost an auto include if you're trying to be efficient. I'm not trying to complain about it. I'm just like, I don't know. Is there anything else that we want to put on here? I mean, remember, we're not trying to build like the perfect mech.
Well, right, you're
But
not doing, but
reinforced is juicy.
yeah, but the philosophy behind this is
Yeah.
he's designed to get down in there and live. So
Yep, and survive long enough to
yeah.
use those PPGs.
So let's throw
Not, I mean,
reinforced 2
slap it on
there.
there.
We'll see where we go. All right, so that leaves us 2 tons.
Is there?
You want to throw point
And there's
defense on there so that when they're trying to rocket him and missile him.
so there's no there is no system that helps with the PPGs overheating. I don't
There
believe,
is
is
not.
there?
You're correct.
Okay. So Krugerrand is suggesting tag. I'll let you comment about that.
Yeah, well, that's not going to do him any good because he doesn't have any missiles, so he's not tagging for himself, so he'd have to tag for somebody else, which would take a special action. So that's the same reason we didn't give him a targeting computer, because to use either of those, he's going to have to stop. And in my mind, this guy never stops. He's either double moving or moving and shooting.
So here's a thought. I noticed in my perusal of the data cards earlier that IDCs are becoming a little more common. They're certainly not common yet, but they're a little more common. How about shielded? Because the last thing we want is this guy to have to stop moving. Doesn't shielded protect you from the effects of IDCs?
Yeah, you cannot be popped with a shielded.
Right. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, Krugerin. Glad you're back with us.
All right. So let's look at all right, so shielded is a cheapie. I mean, it's a half ton or half hard point. So we can throw shielded on there. That would allow us to come back and put countermeasures on there, use
Uh-huh.
another half ton for that, which will help maybe keep him from getting target locked. And then,
That's a 10 plus roll.
yes,
Is it based on the level of countermeasures
it
or just a
is.
straight 10?
We could put more levels of countermeasures on there if we wanted. Right now, he would need a 9 or better with countermeasures 1. If we put countermeasures 2 on there, that'll get him down to an 8, but that gives us a half ton or a half hard point, and I don't know that there's a whole lot else to put on him. We would want half a hard point on.
I mean, you don't have to spend every hard point, I suppose.
No,
Although it doesn't seem like the Rock would do that. They would stick something
yeah,
in
you're
there.
gonna have everything in there. So, um, oh, Aegis might be good since we're counting on him to get in close. He gets into close assault. We could do it.
What
We could do
what
it
is
an extra. Well, it gives him a +1 as a defender
plus?
in close assault.
And he's already got what, a 6/6? Is that what it
He's
says?
an 8
For
8.
8/8.
Yeah, with the
I couldn't quite make it out.
with the particle bolt guns and the lasers, he's ugly up close. So let's
He's
look at
kind of a
that. Let's countermeasuring double,
uh-huh.
which leaves us the half, and then throw the Aegis in there for the other one.
How many points?
966. So we kept him under 1,000.
Pretty expensive, but not terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not 12 or 1,300 Emperor. So what is the consensus? Does the crowd like him? He's actually
By the way,
he's pretty unique for, I think, in the game where there's not a lot of stuff out there with this mix. He's certainly unique for a rock player.
very unique for a rock
Yeah.
player. He definitely wants to move downhill.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy will be across the board quick.
By the way, the Emperor is 1,035.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, no problem. The Centurion was worried that you had supplanted him as the most expensive CAV in the game.
I like him.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
So just off the top of your head, what does he look like?
Oh, yeah, that is a whole nother can of worms there. I'm kind of getting some ideas in my head though. I mean, he's going to have his lasers are going to be, put in his waist or whatnot, and his arms are going to be the particle bolt guns.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
But he's got the medium lasers to at least be. I mean, he can salvo with them coming in, so that'll give him a +1
if he needs to. Yeah.
Keep it.
And he'll be in the range of the medium lasers after the first move or so.
Yeah, because they go out to 30. So I like him. So
how about the Empress?
Empress.
I mean, why not?
No, it doesn't. That one doesn't. I'm picky on names. I'm just here to tell you right
Apparently.
now. Yes, I'm a drama queen on the names. I don't think it sounds cool. If I wouldn't get in it, then I don't name it that.
John, if your favorite mech had a crappy name, you wouldn't get in it.
I would not. I'd be in something. I'd be like in a Conqueror or something like that, right? In a heartbeat before I'd be in the Empress.
Okay, so just to be certain, they take you out on the tarmac for the first time and they say, "Here's a cool name," and they roll the gnomic up. You're going to get in that.
I would get in the gnomic before I would get in the Empress.
no matter how cool the
no matter
empress
how
looks.
cool it is.
John, that's a weird rule. That's a weird. That's a
No,
weird
because I
quirk.
mean, you can put a turbocharged super motor in a Pinto. You're not going to get out
Yeah.
racing the Pinto. It ain't happening.
But I mean, we're talking about like a Lamborghini Huracan that's happens to be named the Empress versus the
I'm just,
Pinto. You're gonna
to
think,
me, Empress is up there with Pinto. I'm sorry. All
yeah,
right.
John, I'll drive the Empress for you. It's okay,
Okay.
and you can make fun of me all day
All day
long,
long. All right.
all day long. And I will look down at you from my serious height advantage over my giant suite of weapons and tell my Wizzo to tell you to shut
Well,
up.
and we could go into what are some other uh, emperor type names from other cultures? There's some stuff that goes out there that you can go with. Let's see.
So Tiger Wraith has thrown out the name Mikado. Sounds like like an Asian name. Excuse me.
Yeah, that one's
And then there's Krugerrand says the Duke. What about Marshal, as in Field Marshal?
about the Shogun.
You sure we don't already
We
have that
don't.
one? Sounds. Oh, that's probably that other game, isn't it? No, I mean that's an idea. Benighted. Somebody suggested Benighted.
Yeah, we already got a knight. Yeah,
Do we?
it's a Templar.
The
Templar
Templar
model.
thing. Yeah. We're gonna get a Shah. How about the Shah? The Pope.
Pope. The Pope
Um,
Mobile. Ecto 1.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be the Chancellor. Do we have a
We do.
Chancellor?
Yeah, we got a Chancellor.
Okay. We're gonna have to broaden the search because I think you've eaten a lot of these things
Yeah,
up
no, I know
probably.
we have. That's and but it doesn't have to be necessarily a top name either. I mean, because you got like a dictator, and
Right.
so we've got those.
The Raja.
Well,
He was firing them up.
yeah, he's going down. He's got the whole thing on.
I'm sure he's just sitting on goodmechnames.com and just reading them off probably. Um, hmm, hmm. Brainstorming names is probably
This I
probably
hate this.
this.
This it sucks. I hate getting.
Yeah. Every time I get into some sort of like a video game, like I make up my superhero character, or I make up my guy in his giant armor, crazy troll in his robes, or just whatever character I'm playing. I get to the thing where it says, "All right, pick a name," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be here till midnight. Oh Lord, what am I gonna do?" And it's even worse when it's like an online game, so other people have already picked over all the really good names.
Right.
The Maharaja from Mr. Peebles. How about the Savage?
Well, I don't know that that goes to our. Um,
Okay, John, how about you just make it up and let us
no,
know?
I when I hear it, I'll know it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you will. Thursday,
I
December 24th.
did we decide? Do we already have a monarch?
I believe we do have a
We do.
monarch. I don't know for sure, but I think we do. It sounds very familiar. The Prince? The Castellan? Maharani. I don't know what website he was on, but he's just going through all
He's
of them.
going.
He's
He's
in
got
the
it
M's
up.
right now.
Yeah, he is. He's got.
Gimli, I have no idea how to pronounce the Doge, the Doge, the Doge, the Doge. Uh, I mean, the Raj, or just RAJ, with like Raja, but without the ah at the end. I mean, I bet if there's probably a plethora of Asian names for like rulers and things like that. Although that's kind of what he was spouting out. Sheik, Bedouin,
Not so bad.
what sort of Janissary?
About a Nagusa.
Now you're looking stuff up,
Well, I'm
right?
just saying that's Ethiopian for king.
Liebling Bunny says the Tsar, TSAR, but I think we
Yeah,
already have
yeah.
a
I think
CZAR.
we've come up with a. There's a variant.
Uh, Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. I'm still kind of pushing, thinking towards Shogun.
Well, it's 9:07. You're running out of time.
I got it. I got it.
All right.
That's what
I
I'm gonna
mean,
do. I'm gonna call it. We're gonna call it the Shogun.
all right. The Vasir, the Afri. There are other people throwing some ideas out now. Yeah. Got to be some Norse names up there, right?
Right?
The Valkyrie? Do we have a
No,
Valkyrie?
we don't have a Valkyrie yet.
Charging on like winged horses, right? But wait a minute, that's a girly name. You're not allowed to have those, John, remember?
Hey, Valkyrie is a.
It is a great name. Fantastic character from the MCU. I have a miniature of her right over there on the shelf.
Yep. No, we're gonna go with Shogun.
All right,
I'm good.
Shogun.
They are appointed by the emperor.
Okay.
So how does that not go with it?
I, I mean, if you're driving the Shogun, you probably look at the Emperor pilot and go, "Don't you even tell that old joke. I will kill you."
All right, I'm gonna save it.
All right.
All right, so there we have it. That we have, and actually, let me see if I can sing.
So Bloody Lemming is going to start sculpting on it Saturday, right?
Well, you never know. Kind of mood you catching. He hadn't been talking to me very much lately. I figured I made him
Good
mad or
night,
something.
Krugeran.
All right, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. He's been. I haven't hardly seen him for a while. Not talking to him. All right, so let's look here and see if I can go pull up the car. Who knows? Oh, I know he's here. That's the reason I'm saying it.
So maybe for next week's show we'll build a force that includes some Shoguns.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Let's see.
Good night, Krugerand. Tried to say that earlier, but I wasn't sure you heard me. You getting that exported?
I've got it, but I'm trying to get it where we.
See, now I want a Valkyrie model, and I want it to have
Well,
an armored
and
skirt. Bloody Lemming.
I've been wanting to do a Valkyrie. I just haven't figured out where I wanted. All right, hold on just a minute. I'm still trying to figure out how to show you this.
Maybe a Ritter model.
Okay, so if we go here, okay, is the card showing?
Yeah. Now we can see it. It's kind of small, but I'm sure you can make it out if you're looking at it
Oh, let me.
at a normal distance. It's just small for me because I'm way away from the computer monitor.
Is that better?
Yeah, oh yeah, much better. I can actually read it now.
Okay, so there we got. So we've got 12-point CAV, Starts at a movement of 8,
right?
armor of 8, close assault of 8. That's ugly. That's an
Plus, it
ugly,
has
ugly number.
Aegis. So when he defends, he's a 9.
Yeah.
You're not beating this guy in close combat, not on your own.
With all those laser weapons, that always kicks your close assault up. So he's got 2 medium laser bolt guns, 2 heavy particle bolt guns. He is hard, bulky, Aegis, Assault 2, Chameleon, Countermeasures 2, Reinforced 2, Shielded, Superior Mobility, and Wizzo, 966. That is a
So
pretty
so
rounded guy right there.
so just real quickly, let's summarize what all those mean.
Okay,
Hard just means you're a tough target.
right
You're made
for
out
the
of metal
damage
and
number,
armor.
right? Is for
Bulky
transportation. He takes 2 spots.
for drop
Yeah,
ships.
for stuff like that. So,
And Aegis is makes him fight defensively better in close combat,
right. If
right?
he is a defender in close combat, he gets a +1 to his.
And then Assault 2 means he can double move with like a running gun and shoot 2 weapons with no
with no
penalty, right?
penalty, correct. Or all 4 of them with a -2 instead of a
Minus
-4.
2. Right. Chameleon means anybody who fires a direct fire ranged attack at him at a distance greater than 18,
I believe
I
so.
believe.
Yeah, I think it's 18, maybe 18 or greater. Which way? I'm not
Okay.
100% sure.
Suffers a -1 to hit.
Yep.
Uh, Countermeasures 2 is a 10 plus roll that lets you try and negate a target
A
lock
target
against
lock
you.
or a tag.
Is it only once
It's
per turn, or is every
no.
one of them?
It's anybody that tries to do it to him.
Okay, so
So
if two are
so he'll actually do it on an 8+.
okay, and then reinforced 2 just means he reduces he moves all the damage he suffers 2 steps down the damage track to a minimum of 0.
Right. So it might bring it could bring a 6 or a 6 down to a 4 and save you a point of damage.
Yep, absolutely. Or really change a pilot roll from like a 7 to a
Right.
5
Right.
or something.
Yeah. Or keep you from being suppressed. So I mean, it's kind of one of those little
It's good.
marginal things, but it
Yep.
can pay off.
It's worth having.
Yeah, shielded keeps him from worrying about nanotech or ion cannons.
IDCs, yes.
Superior mobility allows him to ignore the extra movement modifier for light woods, elevation change, and rough.
Right.
And then Whistle's going to
And
give him a +1 to all of his attack rolls.
just the back, like a weapons officer in the back, and it's all +1 to hit.
Yep. Plus, he gets the +1 to close assault too. So
I still think there might be room in the game. You know how piercing makes weapons +1 strength, right?
right.
It would be nice if there was like an anti-piercing, like a negative piercing that like made the PPG penalties just a little less. So you could take a heavy PPG as a 7/7 and it would overheat not as terribly.
I don't know that it would affect the overheat problem. I think that it would save you points. If that was a 7/7 particle bolt gun, he would probably be 100, 150 points cheaper.
Interesting.
That's an easy one. I don't have a problem with that. That just goes into because we've put some of that into the program. I don't know if people have seen that as we were building with that before. There. Okay, so like if you go into the essays, we have put in some like armor value reduced. So, let's say you ended up and you want to drop a point or two for whatever reason, story wise. That's gonna save you some points. There's a movement reduce in here. So there's things that are in here like that. So I mean, that's something we can look at down the road as far as actually dropping off. If you wanted to shave a point off,
shave some points. So this is completely outside the rules of the game, but just in my head, I see Shogun pilots and Emperor pilots having kind of a rivalry. I mean, the Shogun is like the newer, sleeker, faster thing, and they just kind of want to look down their nose at the Emperor pilots. There's a little bit of rivalry
Right.
there. And that being said, when Chris or whoever, but I'm just going to assume it's Chris, designs this cab for us, maybe there should be like a style change. To me, the Dictator and the Emperor, they're both old, sort of old school rock designs. They have that sort of bulbous look to their cockpit torso area.
Right.
I think it would be a neat divergence and sort of play into the story element that the people with the latest tech are kind of like lording it over the guys with the older tech, and so they have a sleeker, just a different
Yeah,
aesthetic
no,
a
I
little
think
bit
I think the Rock I
for the
think the
rock.
Rock are ready for another look. That's one of the reasons I went with one of the lesser manufacturers right now. So, uh, but yeah, I mean, we could change the look up a little bit. I the Vizier would be a good name, Mardu. I mean, for something. Remember that name. We
Hmm,
have to do another one, the
the
Vizier. Yeah,
Vizier. Yeah,
yeah,
I
that would
like
be
that. That is
okay.
good. I just so Bloody Lemming commented that that would be a rivalry between the engineers. I completely get that, but I just feel like the pilots,
Yeah,
the
it would go
young
both
kids
both
out
ways.
of the
Yeah, it could
academy,
go both
yeah,
ways.
they they get in the brand new hotness, and they're like, "Your old emperor is worthless. Watch this. I can get across the field before you can get out of the deployment
Right.
zone."
But
And the emperor pilots,
yeah, no, I could see it going both ways. But yeah, Grindle, I like that. That's a name we could use down the
mhm,
road. Like I said, I don't think it really fit with this guy, but I think you probably could have got away with the Vizier. But the Grindle, I like that name. That's a good name. Rakshasa, yeah,
mhm,
there's a good one there. I saw one other that was in there somewhere. Oh, the Castilian. I think that could be
mhm.
that would that might be a cool fire support vehicle or something.
Yeah, some kind of vehicle,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
Okay, so we have gone way over. Needs to say. So Merdu, remember all those names.
Yep,
uh,
that's your
yeah,
job.
we'll come back and look at them and put those in that list. You can send them to me in the Facebook Messenger. So I've got them on my mind. Make sure to throw the Castilian in there too. Uh, so we're not going to get to the Force Manager tonight. So we'll save that
No,
for
no,
another show. But
save that for
yeah,
next week.
but that way we're done. So anyway, so that's how you design a model. You've seen us design one. You can go in there. You can pull up whatever you want. Just you can pull up something that is already made. If you wanted to drop off weapons, if you wanted to do this, for whatever reason, you're making a pirate guy, or you want to take something and you want to downgrade it a little bit to save some points or something, you can do that. So just like that's what I was talking about with the reduced armor and the reduced movement points. You could actually go in and take um, an 8 or 9 DT model, reduce its armor by half, and say, because it's taking damage, whatever, and be able to generate a card for something to play in the game and save points that way.
Yep.
So it's a lot of role playing and scenario ideas with a lot of that stuff there with the cargo and things that we threw in there too. So it's kind of just stuff to build in as you go. So anyway, so we'll call it a night. We'll let everybody go. It's almost 9:30. This is our longest show. We got
Yep,
busy. We got to
absolutely.
talking. Good thing.
And we got one more thing
Yeah.
with that we want to share, I think. Um, Tentatively, I'm gonna try and stream a little painting on John's channel next Monday evening. I'm not sure the exact time yet. I think I've got my setup so it'll work. It's an experimental, so cross your fingers that it works. If you want, just come over to John's channel, John, jump in. It's mostly going to be just me talking about stuff. I have it in mind to build a model that doesn't really exist in CAV, sort of an anti-CAV gun. That might be my first project. Anyway, join me if you like.
Yeah, we'll put an
Hope to
announcement
see you
up
there.
once we get the time. I was actually getting ready to do that because I was getting ready to do all the show times, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Sorry,
didn't
sorry.
forget you. I just want you to know I didn't forget you. So,
Okay.
because Obviously, we'll have Chris back on Saturday at 2 o'clock with Saturday sculpting. I think he'll be finishing up the Kula and maybe start on something else or spend 2 hours talking bad things about me. Who knows? Little
Pretty
payback.
easy.
Little payback. Oh, you want to talk about me? I'll talk about you. And then Monday night, James will have his first episode of Painting with James. That's what I'm calling it right now.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
for it.
So we'll come up with a better name, but right now it's Painting with James. The James Mary, the Bob Vila, or not Bob. What's Bob Rossi? The Bob Rossi of
Bob
CAV painting.
Ross.
Yes. So
Yeah.
be Mad Dog.
I think you'd rather have the Ross
Ross
Ross.
Ross. Okay. Oh, that's my other goal. I was gonna try to get Ross on, start messing with us too, but I didn't get to it for tonight.
Yep.
Okay, so Chris on Saturday at 2, James Monday night. We'll be back.
Not sure what time yet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Tuesday night, I'll be back with my train starting at 6 o'clock, and then we'll be back here next Wednesday again at 8 o'clock, and hope you're here to join us. So,
All
all
right.
right. Well, so good night, James. Good night, people. Love the Shogun. I actually do. I actually am excited for him. That's a really cool. I think he turned out really good. So everybody have a good night, and we will see you later.
Take care.
All right, we're done.
All right. I think I don't know if you're into this sort of thing, but I think if we had a script that we actually kind of outlined earlier,
I know. I've
I think
tried.
it
And I've
would
tried to
be
do
good.
it, and I keep getting off of it. Yeah. No, I know. Even just an outline.
Yep. That's what I always tried to do with Ross is I would actually, we would have like a shared document and I would type it up just real quick. It was really just like a section. And then before we actually got on, we'd say, okay, what are we talking about in this section and that section and that section? It helped us not